This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
No. Y'all, just stop. This is a sham. Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, and guess who's here? Lindsey Granger, everybody.
Thank you.
It's becoming a theme where I introduce you, but this time, I really have to introduce you. This is former DBL host. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop.
But fresh off The View, Lindsey Granger for the past few days. I watched you. You did incredible. The way you held your own with those strong women up there. You're a strong woman yourself, but really great job.
And first, I want to start Whoopi Goldberg is an idol, right?
Yeah.
Joy Behar has been on the show since the beginning. These are people that I watched growing up, and I was lucky to have a seat at that table and have a discussion. But I would not be able to have any of those. And let me say, Sonny and Sarah also kept me on my toes and kept me sharp as a sword. But I wouldn't be able to have those conversations without sparring with you as intensely as we did, and then still being friends and having a beer together afterwards, without Al showing me how to laugh at the end of a really tough conversation, and without Tori really just riding me, like disagreeing, and then we both can just breathe at the commercial break and still go out and get a drink. And so that is not something that somebody knows how to do normally, but unless I did it with you guys, I can do it with them. So I just want to thank you guys for really sharpening my sword and showing me that I shouldn't be afraid to have dialogue with anybody, because that's what America needs to do. We need to know how to disagree with stuff, be any skin color, be from any background, and it be okay that we have a diverse viewpoint, but still be able to get a drink.
I couldn't agree with you more. And because The View has an audience, I'm going to applaud that.
We got an audience here. We got Kelly.
Before we get into our thing, I did want to mention it because you did a great job of it. I don't want to go on and on, but of getting your opinion in there, right? Because it's tough to get into a new show. But how did the applause affect you? Because I know if we had applause here, it would make the show a little bit different.
Dude, she said stop clapping.
Yeah, there was a point when I said, don't clap for that. And, I got in a little bit of trouble for that. I'm not going to lie.
I don't like it.
But it was like kind of like clapping, and it was like, I felt like it's an audience, and they love somebody already. They love Sunny, so they might say, she said something like, oh, the sky is blue. And it's like, and
I can't stand it.
Excuse me, but I need to learn how to that's what happens in life. You said the claps are like social media people, right? For you, it's like you get tons of applause, but what does it mean for you? If you stood by your conviction and really feel that way and know there's no malice in what you're saying, stand firm in it, and that's how I feel.
Dig it.
So
I need some advice.
I know, right?
Tori and Kelly. All right, let's get started. Nicolas Cage is opening up about his past money troubles. He talked to GQ magazine about losing almost all of his $150 million fortune and how he took every movie role that came his way to pay off the millions he owed to the IRS. He appeared in 46 movies in the span of about a decade, but said he never phoned it in and cared about every single project. During this time, he was also spending about $20,000 a month trying to keep his mother out of a mental institution. But he also told GQ about one of his more extravagant purchases. Let's watch.
TIL, that Nicolas Cage spent $150 million on a 70-million-year-old dinosaur skull. There's the skull I bought at an auction, and I bought it legally. Here's the MacGuffin. When the Mongolian government said that they needed it back, I gave it to them, but I never got my money back. So somebody at the auction house should be in jail.
wow.
Wow, that's like I remembered when we bought that skull.
Oh, of course.
Right? And he didn't get his money back from that?
Don't you think it's important for people to share? Like, even at that level, you can have money troubles. I mean, nobody talks about it. It's like the awkward thing in the room. You don't even really talk to family about it. And he probably maybe didn't share with close people that were really close to him. But that's even something that I've been through, even a couple of years ago. I was like drowning in debt and just kept buying stuff and it's like an addiction. And you just, to open up about it, you kind of could feel like, oh, a lot of people have been through this experience.
Yeah, I think buying things is it can be a compulsion. It's weird how we look at diseases. Like if you have cancer, everybody's like, I'm so sorry to hear that. But if somebody has a shopping addiction, a sex addiction, gambling, people look at those like, yeah, but because they're almost like things that are considered pleasurable for most people, that they don't understand that if they're out of control, they will destroy your life, destroy every relationship that you have. I have a friend that's in recovery for gambling. It's terrible. It's not fun like it is for you when you go to Vegas. So I think he is doing a good thing, whether he knows what he's doing or not, to bring light to the fact that he has a shopping addiction. And when you have an addiction, we just learned that $150 million will only last you about 10 years, which is insane. So just think about how hard it is to go through that amount of money and what a compulsion it must be.
Yeah, I'm just glad he said he didn't phone it in, because I know, like, for instance, Will Smith, I believe, did Fresh Prince because he had a tax issue also and needed to owe the IRS. And so I'm just glad he didn't just like kind of he did full Nicolas Cage. That's like what I want to see. You know what I mean?
Well, him just being himself
He's the best,
makes me like him more.
Right.
Opening up,
Agreed.
being honest.
Agreed.
You know, like people want to have this persona of how perfect they are and how great their life is, aka social media, and just being like, man, I had it all and I lost it.
Yeah.
It could happen to anybody.
I was reckless.
I'm just like you and my mother. I'm trying to keep her. Like, there's other things going on in his life other than just his spending problem.
Yeah.
So I like Nicolas Cage even more. And his new movie looks fantastic.
I
the one
liked
where he's
it.
kind of
Yeah.
Oh
playing for himself.
yeah, that
Tomatoes,
meta one. I like that
it
too.
looks really cool. Big fans. Okay, someone who's not a big fan of this next person, Gwyneth Paltrow. Tori knows what I'm talking about. Former right-hand woman at Goop is throwing shade at the wellness brand. Elise Linen recently posted a message on Instagram saying that wellness culture can be as toxic as eating overly processed foods. She went on to say that doing cleanses became problematic for her. Let's listen.
To me, it had become synonymous with dieting and restriction, and I felt like I was not in a healthy relationship with my body, where I was always trying to punish it, bring it under control. And I've been eating like a teenager for 2 years and enjoying it, to be honest.
All right, Tori, you guys should hook up on social media.
Do you need a friend? Look, I think that Gwyneth Paltrow knows her lane. I think her lane is very specific, but her lane definitely promotes restrictions and cleanses a lot with food. That is a major part of what she believes detoxifies her body. Now, again, she's not a doctor. She's been sued because of some medical malpractice, and that's an
Like
issue for me. You're not a doctor either, but I would rather take advice from you. But what I'm saying is her method isn't really organically open to a lot. It's a lot of I restrict, I detox, self-discipline. That's the Goop way. And for this woman and for many women and men, that's not doable because you end up hating a part of yourself.
But is there a responsibility for people who do that? This works for Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh,
Obviously,
totally.
she's sharing what works for her, and she's not a doctor.
That's
so
her
if other
lane.
people take that to the extreme and get sick on it, is that their own fault or is that Gwyneth Paltrow's fault?
Well, I think to me is she promotes that for everybody. Everybody should do a fast. Everybody should do a cleanse. Everybody should do this, and it's not right for everybody.
I think it might be, because you said that her lane is very narrow, but I think that lane is actually very wide. The idea of cleanses and mental health, it's now its own cottage industry that people spend thousands of dollars every trying to, Lindsay, 7-day cleanse, all-day grapefruit thing, get a salt bath and you're stressed out. It's almost the same as like hustle culture that you see on like YouTube, like get on your grind, bro, get up and rise and grind. These corny people selling you nonsense. That's what all that magazine is.
I listen to that
nonsense.
every morning.
No, you listen to people that are gurus. There's a difference between that and the hustle culture, the hashtag.
I got you.
It's a different thing, but people pay for it.
Well, I think
so
that's
if they pay for it, that's what's up.
That's what we talk about when we watched Euphoria together, and so there's like a parody about this that like, you know, there's a heavier set girl on the show, and it's like constantly people are jumping around, lose weight, do this, oh, you look good like this, and all you have are all these fake experts telling you everything on Instagram, and you're bombarded with this information, and it's usually these very perfectly shaped women.
Exactly.
You could do it, just eat this a day, and it's like that's not all that goes into
Rice
it, right?
water.
If you have a kid, if you have different, like, you know, be realistic about what's going on with you, and be realistic that you got surgery, or be realistic about exactly what's happening. You have fast metabolism, but don't just tell
There's
everybody.
no money in telling people to be realistic, Lindsay.
I'm just saying, like,
There's money, but there's also toxicity in that.
right, because you think it's just me, I'm just lazy, and that's
Right.
usually not the case.
I tried that, you know, the cayenne lemon water with honey.
Did it work?
I never forget because like all the stars did that, right? And I was in LA. I did it 2 days, and I was on the phone with my buddy who's a nutritionist, and I was like, "Hey man, is this diet good?" And I was making a sandwich while he said, he goes, "Dude, get off that diet." I'm like, "No problem." And I couldn't do it. 2 days. I'm like, "This isn't
It's not healthy.
If it doesn't work for you, don't push
That's
the
right.
envelope.
And
you gotta
check
find
with
what
your
works."
doctor, please.
That's even better
We got
advice.
our moms with us on the show now.
Coming up on DBL.
Don't swim.
Guess what, Al? You're ruining my moment.
Sorry.
I have a new movie coming out. But it probably is not in a theater near you. But we'll talk about it later. We've got a little sneak peek before I head off to the premiere. Plus, designer chopsticks. That's a change, huh? You won't believe the price of these and some other extremely luxurious everyday items.
Get out of here.
We should have did that first, then my movie.
Yeah, this.
Closed captioning provided by
Poshmark is
This March, connect with Al, Lindsay, Erica, Jeff, and Tori. Exciting! Real conversations are on DBL.
Man, you guys want all the smoke with these hard questions.
DBL, all new every day. So if you guys don't know, his movie comes out, I think, tomorrow. And one of my stand-up girls is in it, Cameron Kelly, who I absolutely love. She's actually in the movie. Or Anna Faris, excuse me.
Jaleel White, also known as Steve Urkel.
Jaleel White, a.k.a.
You guys are giving a movie preview like
Steve.
you guys were drinking in the kitchen.
Let me tell you.
Jess he's in a movie. The tall guy.
Okay, wait, what's the premise of the movie? Let's talk
We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
I'd rather have an original.
Okay,
reaction.
fine.
The full cut. Have you seen the
No,
full
I haven't.
cut?
I'll see it tomorrow.
Do you get any say in a cut or no? If you're like, hey, I don't want
Jeff, of
I don't want to
course he
show this part of my body. Can you say that?
He has
Of
nothing.
course not.
Oh, you can't even mention it?
If I had a problem with it, of course I could say that. Of
Yeah.
course, but no, I would.
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do. I would do whatever they wanted unless they want,
Let's
crazy.
talk about the elephant in the room. Did you get a new haircut? It looks really good.
Is that an elephant in the room?
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah, I got
Why is that an elephant? It's not a weird thing to say.
I know.
Clearly, people are all about Jeff's hair. It's a big.
Yes, I decided to go a little shorter
I like it, Jeff.
because
talk
the
about
little
the
springs
elephant
around the
in the
corner. This is very hard for me to get off my chest right now. Talk about my haircut.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you
It's a
can free
very
yourself.
brave moment for me. So.
It is.
But yeah, so I just decided to go a little shorter. You know what I mean? I got the premiere coming up. I'm like, I'm gonna get a little change for Big Jeff.
Is there a red carpet?
There is. It might be a red blanket.
Whatever.
No, who cares? How many
It's
guests
gonna
can
be
you have?
small. So I'm going back to Columbus, Georgia, where we filmed the movie. But some people that donated to the movie
I'm getting a water.
wanted us to come back there for the premiere. So I'm going to support the people, the friends I made. The people I made the movie with are my friends. So I don't know if all the actors are going to be back there, but I'm going back to support my friends. Yeah.
That's
proud of you,
awesome.
buddy.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Look at these compliments.
Cameron's coming back.
I know Cameron.
And also
Great girl.
Columbus, Georgia, beautiful. First Chopsticks. Welcome back. So would you pay $1,600 for a pair of chopsticks? Al already answered that question.
Look at that
Right.
turtleneck.
One man apparently did. He posted this viral video on TikTok showing off these gold Louis Vuitton chopsticks worth more than $1,600. Apparently, they enhance the flavor of the food.
No, they don't.
Come on.
No, they don't.
They kind of do.
No, they don't.
They have to.
No, they don't.
I think they do because
they gold-plated?
You're eating good sushi off of those. You're not going to like happy hour with those.
Yeah,
So like
you better
it's gotta
not
be
be.
good sushi.
But if the chopsticks aren't giving the flavor.
How would we ever
And if
know?
they have weird flavor residue on them, who wants to eat that?
I think
No,
subconsciously it does change the flavor if you know you're eating with $1,600
Cutlery,
chopsticks.
You're doing great. Yeah, it tastes wonderful.
All right, let's get to
Got
this one.
lead in it.
Tiffany's also has a section on their website dedicated to outrageously expensive Al Jackson items.
Yeah.
So, some of our favorites. How about this sterling silver tin can worth about $1,100?
What would you put in that?
Jewelry?
Soup.
Tiffany's
Soup. Soup.
I don't know which is worse, jewelry or soup. Like that's jewelry.
Gold soup.
like Tiffany's earrings you put in the Tiffany tin can.
Oh, that looks like I need something at the trash can with fire.
And then all of a sudden someone comes over, recycles it. What'd you do with that? All right, would you pay $550 for a silver clothespin?
No.
There's
Even
no
though that
use
could be
for
cool
that.
on a suit, I
It would
guess.
be cool on a tie, I think.
Yeah.
Or a tie, yeah.
Isn't that tie? No. How about this? It's a silver golf tee. It's listed for $205. It's so popular, it's sold out of stock.
Yeah, right. They made one of them.
Wait, Jeff,
Well, here's
you
the-
golf a lot. Would
here's
you
the thing.
lose your tee when you tee off?
I'm gonna find it if it's that one. You know what I mean? But most of the times it's would you hit it. But if you're a pretty good golfer, right, you probably don't lose your tees off and it might just go a couple yards in front of you. This might be a cool gift for the
Avid golfer.
Avid golfer, yes.
Yeah, who goes
Chris
to
Clark,
Nobu after.
Yes.
our executive producer,
Yes.
Chris Clark.
Maybe
Yeah,
a good
like-
Christmas present for golf.
Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Would you want one?
He would.
He'll
Okay.
take one.
Okay.
See?
All right,
Yeah,
good gift.
yeah, because he's a good golfer, and he like my tee is going into the street. All right. So how about a silver diamond trimmed pencil sharpener for only about $315?
My God, that's ridiculous.
Little paperweight.
You know what? You know your
Nobody
money
sharpens
shavings.
pencils.
That's
I
disgusting.
kind of like it.
Really?
I do because there's a weird thing when you stay like kind of like not fancy but niche hotels. They'll have pencils and stuff, kind of old school throwbacks.
Okay.
I could see that as like we're kind of paying homage to old school.
I feel like
but no one knows.
Al writes his jokes with a quill. I feel like.
Let's do it.
That would be great. Okay, let's get this last one. Finally, this item is no longer on the website, but at one time, Tiffany's was selling a silver ball of yarn, Tori, for $9,000.
Oh, yeah. If I was rich, I would get that for Tori.
For what? What could I use
Can't
that
you
for?
crochet with that?
With silver?
Okay, let's go through. What would you get?
Okay. I kind of like.
That you have to pay out of pocket for.
Oh, God.
Not hypothetically. I think I'm going with the chopsticks.
I also did think the chopsticks.
I think because
the leather case.
use it once or twice.
Yeah, you take them out of
The tea is only
starter.
$200.
I think that,
And I'm
yeah, you
cheap,
go.
So if I have to pick one, I'm going with the cheaper one.
Lindsay, it's on you.
The cheapskate in me ain't gonna let me get any of these things. I'm sorry, it can't happen.
Lindsay
The chopsticks then. The
virtual
chopsticks.
money.
The chopsticks.
Get the can, Lindsay. You defended the can. I don't know what.
Lindsay, you're on The View. Get a can. All right, coming up on DBL, we got a preview of my new movie that comes out tomorrow. Find out where you could watch it. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Proud of you, man.
Suffer from pain?
You've seen her all over the news and on your phone this past week, but just who is Katanji Brown Jackson? Well, she was born in 1970 in my hometown of D.C. to two public school teachers. They gave her an African name, Katanji Onika, which means the lovely one. Now, it was after the family moved to Miami where she really started making some moves, like being elected student body president of her high school class and becoming a debate superstar. Now, despite her guidance counselor warning her not to set her sights too high, she set her sights to soar after high school, attended Harvard, and graduated magna cum laude. Side note, while at Harvard, she also took drama classes and partnered with Matt Damon, of all people. She didn't stop there, though. It was on to Harvard Law School, where she also graduated cum laude and was editor of the Law Review. But more importantly, this is where she met her future hubby, Patrick. Patrick is now a surgeon at Georgetown University Hospital in D.C., so hashtag power couple. They also have two lovely children, Layla and Talia. After Harvard, she clerked for several judges, including Supreme Court Justice Breyer in '99. Now here's where her path differs from most. Miss Jackson served as a D.C. public defender, which is a huge deal. You see, usually Supreme Court justices have histories like working as big shot prosecutors or for super rich corporate clients, but a public defender represents clients who are literally too poor to afford a lawyer. And if confirmed, she will be the very first federal public defender on the Supreme Court ever. And she loves to knit. She's my kind of woman. And her motto is, do what you need to do before what you want to do. Now, if confirmed, she will be one of 4 women on the court, the most of any time in history, and the very first African-American woman on the bench ever. Now you know.
Okay, so I did want to share something fun I'll be doing this weekend. Tonight, I'm heading to Georgia for my movie premiere, Atlanta, Georgia, The Greatest Inheritance.
Yes!
We filmed it back in Thank you, guys. Yes. We filmed it back in 2020, and it drops on Apple TV tomorrow. Other places as well. Let's take a look.
Mom cherished every moment and lived her life to the fullest. I'm gonna miss you so much.
Okay, so are we gonna read the will?
That's what you have to say?
You have activated the special rule. If any of my children ask about their inheritance within 5 minutes of spreading my ashes, inform my children that the deed is hidden on the property, and the first one to find it shall inherit my entire estate.
What?
All right, so I'll explain a little more. I did want to let you guys know I'm taking a camera crew with me to the premiere tomorrow, and I'll be chatting with some of the cast members. So stay tuned on Monday. I'll be back, and we'll talk all about that on the show.
Wow.
But what'd you think of the little premiere?
I'm like, well, what's going to happen?
So,
I want to know a little more.
Let me tell you the premise. So the mother dies. I'm the oldest brother. The 4 other girls in there are my sisters, right? And then the other girl is my niece. So we all come back to our mother's estate, right? We all have very different lives at this point. So the death brings us back. Jaleel White obviously plays the guy who's in charge charge of the will.
Yeah.
So we have to go on a scavenger hunt throughout the property to find the will, and whoever gets it takes it all.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's
right?
a
So
cool
what's the
premise.
deal with your character? Like, is he already well off? Not
My
really?
character's kind of well off. He's maybe a little politician-ish. in there.
Okay.
You know, my sister's in the, she's a singer. That's my wife, who plays my wife in there. And it's a faith-based film. So it's kind of, you're finding God with all these things going around.
I love it. I just want to, I'm actually going to ask you two, how many movies has Jeff been in?
4?
How many movies has Jeff been in?
14?
I don't know either. The reason I'm saying, the reason I'm bringing that up is because Jeff is such a humble dude that he's never even discussed it. He's been in movies and it's never come up. That'd be what I led with. I'd be like, 4 movies, Al Jackson. You are a different kind of guy, man, and it's a pleasure to sit next to you.
I think I've been
But
in
Apple
3.
TV is a huge deal.
This is the biggest one
You
I've
need your
ever done.
flowers for real. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is the biggest one I've ever done. Worked with some great actors, Mina Suvari, Julia White. It was just cool, like getting, like you were talking about being on The View. I know they're not The View or anything, but I was like, whoa, dude, I'm doing a movie with like that girl from American Pie. You know what I mean? And American Beauty.
But it's a big deal because you said like you like acting, you genuinely. So isn't it crazy when you accomplish some of those tasks, right? I grew up watching The View, so going on there was cool. But you grew up loving to act and wanting to do that, and you've done it 3 times. Now is this 4? Like that's amazing that it's possible. Little kid you has to be looking like, wow.
Well, I appreciate that because I did start with like a dream, right? And I love what I do here. But I was telling you guys at the break, I think what I like about this job and acting, I'm all into team sports, right? I played sports. Football was my sport growing up. And I love taking the field with a bunch of other people. And when we sit on this stage, we take the field with everybody in this room, in the booth. Everyone's on the field at once. And when you're acting, you're on the field with all your other actors, the people, the lighting guys, the grips. I love that aspect. And when you watch TV and things like that, you don't necessarily see that, but being a part of that is what I really like. Maybe being part of an ensemble.
Absolutely. EGOT for you next. I'm just really, really, really proud of you. I never give you compliments. This is a sincere one. Bravo and mazel tov, honestly.
Well done, brother.
I'm just gonna take it.
You should.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Man.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Recently, several posts have gone viral on social media claiming that while many Americans struggle with inflation or high gas prices, members of Congress have given themselves a salary bump. Here's one that reads, quote, "Our politicians in Congress voted for a 21% pay raise for themselves." So, is that true? Did members of Congress recently give themselves a 21% pay raise? Let's verify. Our sources: the full text of the 2022 spending bill, the full text of the 2021 spending bill, the House Ethics Committee, and the Congressional Research Service. The claims were prompted by the most recent appropriations package, which became law on March 15th. It allocated just over $774 million for what's called members' representational allowances. The previous year's bill allocated $640 million to that fund, meaning the new bill increased it by exactly 21%. But that fund does not actually have anything to do with salaries for elected officials. It's more like an overall expense budget for their offices. It can go to things like supplies, paying the rent on their district offices, and salaries for their staff. It cannot be used for personal or campaign reasons. Some members of Congress said one of the main reasons they wanted to increase this fund was so they could start paying their staff more and stop losing them to better paying jobs. As for the salaries for the members themselves, those haven't changed in more than a decade. In 2009, Congress gave itself a 2.8% raise, making their salary $174,000 a year. And that number has not changed since. So, we can verify, no, members of Congress did not just give themselves a 21% pay raise. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
This March, connect with Al, Tori, Erica, Jeff, and Sam.
Oh my gosh.
Lively discussions.
Absolutely is not essential.
Yes, it is. Fun guests. Are you a drummer? Oh, yes! Always bringing the laughs.
Can me or Jeff host? I'm out.
Real conversations are on DBL.
Man, you guys want all the smoke with these hard questions.
Yeah. DBL, all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. We've got savings you don't want to miss. Get those phones ready because it's time to shop these deals from our friends at Morning Save.
All right, Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hey, Tori, and hi, DBL Nation. I've got some amazing products and even better deals just for you guys, and you're gonna love this. First up, we've got Remy electric vacuum sealer machine.
Whoa.
So this deal includes 1 vacuum sealer, 1 vacuum tube, 1 vacuum roll, and 5 vacuum bags.
Wow.
Normally, this is as much as $90, but we've got it for only $29, which saves everyone at home 68%. Now, Tori, you know I love it when we get in Cuisinart. We've got the Cuisinart Elemental 8-cup food processor. The deal includes 1 food processor, and this product is designed to perform just about any food prep task a recipe calls for. So normally it's $185, but we've got it for only $79, which saves everyone at home 57%. Now, Tori, we've got Laura Ashley volumizing blowout dryer brush. The deal includes 1 dryer brush. It's so simple because you can dry and style your hair at the same time. So normally it's $59, but we've got it, Tori, for $29.
Yes.
Saving everyone 51%. And last but certainly not least, we've got a Duro Surge Duo Dual USB and Dual Surge charging station. So this deal includes 1 charging station available in white and grey, as well as white and black. So normally this is $50, but we've got it, Tori, for $19.
Ooh.
I know, so everyone at home can power up on everything at home for 62% less.
Head on over to morningsave.com. You know what to do to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. And you can even visit morningsave.com right on your smartphone, or, as you know, the fancy new QR code. You can scan it right on the screen. Thank you so much, Steph.
No chopsticks.
No. I like the chopsticks.
Maybe you
I wouldn't buy
QR
them.
code.
But they have a really cool, that dryer for your hair that's also a round brush, ladies or gentlemen. It saves you like half an hour when getting ready. Really, it really does.
You have used it before?
Yeah, I've used it before. And I know Al's gonna be like, Tori always gets all the deal blasts, but it's really good.
Yeah, if you guys, if there's ever said they're out of it, Tori's trunk has some. So just write us in and we'll get you that.
Black market.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Black market.